Hey guys, great to see you and welcome back to Tip of the Month. And for anybody who hasn't seen any of the previous editions, I'll pop some links down below so you can check those out. We've already done 3 episodes and this is the 4th. And today I'm going to be giving you 2 tips, okay? So let me start out with tip number 1. And this is something that really helped me as a player. So obviously anything that helped me, I'd like to share with you. And please don't see these ideas as too simplistic. Very often it's the simple things that can help us most. So, as I say, this week's tip, which really did help me when I was starting out, and I couldn't really believe just what a difference it made for such a simplistic idea. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was kind of starting out, I'd keep my acoustic guitars in their cases, and when I was going to have a play, I'd take it out of the case, I'd have a play, and I'd pop it back in the case. And this is the way I just operated, back in the day. And I wanted to try something very simplistic in essence to see if it would increase the amount of time played on the guitar, because despite what people might think, I think that many people out there wish perhaps or hope that there are shortcuts to learning the guitar, or some kind of magic trick that you can apply and it's going to make everything happen a lot quicker. Well, I'm sure that many of you already know that that isn't the case when it comes to learning guitar. And it's just a question, or should I say by and large, the main thing that kind of makes you improve, as it were, is the time spent practicing and playing. So if there's any way in which we can increase that time, then it's going to mean we're going to reach our goals and all those type of things a little bit quicker. So what I decided to do, just as a basic experiment, was to buy myself a guitar stand and leave one of my guitars out, to see if it made any difference at all in terms of how much I played. And to my surprise, after conducting a very simple experiment, I discovered that I played my guitar 20% more than what I would have if it was in its case. Now that's a significant amount of time playing guitar for such a simplistic thing to do. And, I should just point out before we go down this road that, you do need to be careful. As you'll probably know through watching my videos, I have many high-end guitars and, many people would never do what I'm suggesting you might try and do here, which is leave the guitar out and make it accessible. Because, if there is a swing in temperature from hot to cold, from cold to hot, whatever it might be, then that can warp or damage your guitar in some way. And I'm certainly not saying that it can't do that. All I'm saying to you is that in my experience over the years, I've never suffered any adverse effects from my guitar being left out. I should point out that I've never left it in sunlight. I've never left it close to a fire or any heating thing or anything like that, or conversely anywhere really cold. I've tried to keep it in a kind of balanced environment, but there has been a real swing in temperatures within the place where I live. But like I say, I have had no detrimental effects. So it's very much a choice you have to make for yourself. Obviously, I can't be responsible for what you do. I just want to share my own experiences with you. So like I say, what I found when I conducted this experiment, and the way I conducted this experiment, was before I bought the guitar stand to see if it made any difference, I made a note of how much time I spent playing my guitar each day. So for example, Monday I played my guitar 40 minutes. Tuesday I played it for an hour and 20 minutes. Wednesday I played it for say 3 hours. Thursday I didn't play at all. Friday I played it for an hour and 20 minutes. This type of thing. I recorded all the kind of time spent playing my guitar. And I did this for a week or two, because you need to do it for a fair length of time just to see, what kind of difference it makes. And then I set up my guitar stand and I did exactly the same thing and recorded the amount of time that I played it once it was on the stand. And this is how I came up with the figure of 20% more. And this was really an eye-opener for me. I found that when I was in particular situations, like say for example waiting for a phone call, or when I put the coffee machine on or the kettle on to make a cup of tea, wherever it might be, things of that nature, I found I was picking up the guitar, waiting for a phone call or any of those things. And not only that, but I might just be sitting watching a bit of TV or something like that, and then because the guitar was, just there, I picked it up and I just played it for 10, 15 minutes extra here and there, and very often I'd play it for a lot longer than that. Now, what always puzzled me was, how can that make such a difference? I mean, prior to doing this experiment, my guitar was only in its case, say in a different room. How could that be the case? But like I say, it really, really was a game changer. And it meant that I played that bit more and improved that bit quicker and reached my targets that bit quicker. So for such a simple thing, guys, I don't think you've really got anything to lose. Maybe conduct the experiment for yourself and see what you find. This is what my hope is, and it's also my hope that you will come back and share your findings with the community, because that's what this whole thing is about here. If we can share these experiences, it can encourage other people. And it could be that you don't find much difference. I'm not saying just because I found a difference that you will, but I'd be surprised if you didn't see some increase in the playing time just by trying this idea out. So that's tip number 1, like I say, and hopefully it'll be something you'll consider and maybe give a try, right? So, like I say, come back and share what you find out. Okay, so moving on to tip number 2 now, and this is, whatever you choose to start, make sure you finish it, because there is nothing that is going to make you sound more amateur than just playing half a song or 3/4 of a song or something like that. Whoever you play for doesn't really want to hear just the beginning of a song or just the middle of a song or just the end of a song. You must start out at the beginning and get through to the end. Nothing is achieved if it's anything other than that. Now, there can also be good reason for why that is happening, and if you fall into this category, then it's something you really need to work on and understand better. So let me kind of help you with that and put some ideas your way to guide you and help you think about the particular things that will help you hopefully get over this kind of roadblock, as it were. You can break your learning up, for example, into 2 areas. You could say technique on the one hand, and you could say songs on the other. And that simplifies things massively. Because if we think of technique, all technique-based things, that can be things like learning scales, learning how to solo, learning how to strum, learning how to fingerpick, whatever it might be, they are generally long-term ongoing projects. So they're not something we accomplish in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They're ongoing, and they are things we do right throughout our guitar journey. So we don't expect quick results, as it were. But when we're learning songs, that's a different thing altogether, and that's in a sense what I'm referring to. Now, it can be very difficult when we're starting out to have the knowledge and understanding as to how to approach and deal with these situations. So let me just give you some common problems and some different ideas that you can work with and think about in this regard. So when we're learning songs, I think it's very important to try and tie them into some kind of time scale. So it could be that you want to learn songs within a week, let's say, or you might want to learn songs within a fortnight or a few days, whatever it might be. And I'm talking about the basics of a song rather than having it completely refined and perfect. I'm talking about essentially going from the beginning to the end. Okay, so that should tie into a time scale. If you do that, then you're in a better position to gauge whether your, method, if you like, for doing these things is flawed or whether it's a good working thing that you've got going. So, for example, if you choose, say, a week and you're happy with that kind of time scale, you think, well, if this song takes me a week to learn, I'll be happy with that. Then you need to try and start learning the song. And if after 2 weeks you're still struggling with it, that's a fair sign to let you know that this is, more difficult than you anticipated. So, you might at that point think, right, okay, I've learned something from that experience. I'm not going to go down that road because I could be here in a month, and that is not what I set out to do. And those type of things can also lead to you being disenchanted with it, and it can spoil the experience of learning guitar. You may start thinking to yourself, wow, this whole guitar thing is just too difficult. Everything's taking so long. I'm not getting the results I want. When realistically, you're far better off thinking, let me choose a more simplistic song, just a 3-chord song. You may do that and discover that you learn a song in 3 or 4 days. So you are experimenting whilst at the same time educating yourself as to the type of material, the type of songs, where you're at from an ability point of view, and the type of things that you're choosing, whether they're a good fit, whether they're a bad fit. This is something we really need to get a good understanding of. And one of the most common reasons, I think, for being stuck in this place of learning just bits and pieces of songs is that we can choose songs which are far too difficult. And when we do that, we've just got to drop them and start again, because if you can knock out a song in, say, 3 days or a week, it's going to encourage you to come back and keep coming back and keep coming back, because you're going to be building a repertoire of songs that you can play from beginning to end. And the people that you play for, and even if you don't play for anybody and you're just playing for your own enjoyment, you'll feel far more satisfied when you play a song from the beginning to the end than what you would if you were just playing a partial song. And conversely, if you are playing for people, they're going to consider you a better guitar player, and they're going to enjoy the experience a whole lot more if you can start at the beginning and go right through to the end. It's a hugely overlooked thing, and a very, very common thing that I come across, and you may well have heard me speak about this before. So, there are a couple of ideas that you can think about if you find yourself in this position. What we're trying to do as guitar players is keep the interest high, the interest level high. Keep trying to be in a place whereby we want to revisit it. We want to pick up the guitar. We're not thinking, I don't want to pick it up because I know what to expect. I'm going to be trying to finish that damn song which I've been working on for the last 5 weeks, and I'm still no closer to learning. So these are all cues for us, in a sense, to make us realise I'm picking material which is far too hard. I need to reevaluate where I'm at as a guitar player and start trying to get these songs learned, in a week, or in 10 days, or in 4 days, or whatever it is you set yourself. Okay? And then think of those technical things as ongoing. So if you're learning how to finger pick, it's an ongoing process. So again, guys, whilst these ideas are very simplistic in essence, they can help you be more intelligent with your choices, develop your thinking on a theoretical level about the type of choices you make. So they shouldn't really be overlooked. So there you have it, guys. A couple of tips that I'm hoping will help you. I'm hoping that you'll put some work into, and also hoping that you'll share your feedback with as well. So I look forward to seeing you soon with another lesson, and in the meantime, you all take care.